Today's class is about Battement Fondues. Fondue means to melt, and this is a good picture for this movement. Battement Fondues starts with two legs bent and ends with two legs stretched. The standing leg and the working leg are stretching together and arrive at the end point at the same time. Fondues are great for strengthening the legs and for coordinating the movements. As you are doing plie and stretch on only one leg, you are also preparing for very hard ballet steps like fouetté turns by doing Battement Fondues. So let's do some fondue from fifth position and see what's important. Bring your working leg into coupé devant, which means your toes touch the knuckle of your standing leg, which goes to plie. Then you stretch both legs at the same time. Then bend your standing leg and bring your working leg back into coupé. Now fondue to the side, both knees stretch at the same time, and then coupé to the back. Now the heel touches the knuckle and then fondue to the back. And again heel to the leg and fondue to the side and close. Let's repeat the same process but lift the leg to 45 degrees. At all times make sure to keep your hips and your shoulders square and to bend and stretch both knees at the same time. And close. Now let's repeat the same with relevé. Keep again everything square, and now what is important, you first stretch your leg before you go on relevé. Then you bring your heel down and then you bend your knee. Stretch your knee, relevé, and then heel down and plie. And to the back, heel down, plie, and to the side and close. I'll show the basic motion again from the side. Start in a fifth position with as turned out as you can hold it. Then plie and bring the toes to the knuckles and then stretch both legs. Then again plie and open to the side. You want always to keep the heel of the working leg to the front. Now to the back, bring your heel to the floor and to the side and close. And one more time, this time I'll focus a little bit more on coming to your maximum turnout. So always when you do plie, push the heel of the standing leg a little bit to the front. Then plie again and the heel comes to the front. And the knee of the working leg goes as far back as you can. Then again, when you plie, bring your heel to the front. And when you fondue to the back, bring the heel of the working leg closer to the floor. This is how you can work on your turnout. Let's do some exercises to improve your fondues. Bring your right arm under your right knee, flex your foot and grab your right foot with your right hand from the inside. Now try to stretch your knee as much as you can. You can just first keep it a little bit bent and each time you stretch it, go a little bit deeper. This is a great stretching exercise for your turnout. For the last time on this side, try to go to your maximum and stretch your knee completely if possible. Then let's switch side. Bring your left arm under your left knee, grab your left foot from the inside and now bend and stretch your knee, and each time go a little bit further. And when you're stretching, help yourself with your exhale to relax the muscles and become more flexible. Let's repeat this stretch once more on each side. Maybe it feels already easier now. Try to turn your leg out as much as you can. Really feel it in your hips. Feel the turn out in your hips. And stretch your knee as much as you can. Then once more the other side. Feel the rotation in your hip and stretch your knee. And keep breathing. Very good. Now let's use our turnout for this next strengthening exercise. Come to stand on your left knee, hold on to a bar and bring your right leg in an attitude position to the front. You want to keep your turn out and lift your leg, so the heel stays up and you're lifting your leg up and lower it down. It is important to keep the turn out and to lift as high as you can. Let's switch sides after about 10 repetitions. Now we're kneeling on our right knee. Bring the left leg into an attitude position. Bring the heel up to the ceiling and lift your leg from your heel. The knee wants to stay to the side and the heel is lifting. It is really hard to keep the turn out here, but that's the goal of this exercise. So keep lifting and lowering your leg. Again, about 10 repetitions, very controlled. Great. Let's repeat this exercise once more on each side. So come back to your first side. Turn out your leg. Try to lift the heel. Try to fight for your turn out. Bring the knee as far to the side as you can and the heel as high as you can. Keep your hips in one level and lift as high as you can with good technique. And one last time on the second side. Make sure you have a good position, your hips are square, your leg is turned out, your spine is pulling up, your shoulders are down, your heel is lifted, your knee is to the side, and lift and lower your leg. While doing fondue, you also want to fight for your turn out. So that's why this exercise is great. Now come to a standing position next to your bar and lift your left leg to an attitude behind you and maybe your attitude isn't very turned out like mine. So now we want to work on keeping the right hip down but lifting the right knee. So naturally when we lift the knee, the hip wants to go up. So we want to fight against this. So lift the knee and at the same time try to keep the hip down. You can place your hand on your hip to feel the movement. Let's do the same on the other side. Other leg to an attitude. Maybe one side is better than the other. For me this one is definitely easier. So lift the knee and bring the hip down. Lift the knee and hip down. And get a nice shaped attitude to the back. Great. Next, come to lie on your back with your legs in a butterfly position. That means the knees are bent and they are dropping to the side while the feet are touching each other. Then lift your left leg in an attitude, then stretch the leg in a turned out position, back to attitude and lower. Repeat this again. Lift in an attitude, stretch, turned out, then back to attitude and lower. Your arms can be in a second position or you can keep them on the floor. And again, lift, stretch, bend, lower, lift, stretch as much as you can in an attitude and lower. One more time, the attitude is as turned out as you can. You stretch as much as you can and then back. Repeat with the other leg. Lift to an attitude, stretch as much as you can at all times as turned out as you can. Lift, stretch, back to attitude and lower. Lift, stretch, turn out as much as you can, back to attitude and lower down. Lift, stretch, bend and lower. Now let's repeat to the side. Lift to an attitude, stretch to à la seconde, bend and lower. Lift to attitude, stretch to the side, bring the heel to the front, bend and lower. Lift, stretch, bend and lower. At all times keep both hips on the floor and lower. Repeat with the other leg. Lift, stretch, bend and lower. Lift, stretch, bend and lower. Lift, stretch, bend, lower. Fight for your turn out. Lift, stretch as much as you can. Attitude and lower down. One more time. And lower down. Well done. Then turn onto your belly, bring your knees apart and your feet together and lift your knees by engaging your glute muscles. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep going in your own tempo and really engage your muscles. Very good. Let's finish with the fondue combination at the bar. We start in 5th position and prepare our arms through allongé first and second. Then we plie with both legs and stretch the working leg to the front. Then the same, but now to 45 degrees, and one more time on releve. We repeat the same to the side. First fondue to the floor, then fondue at 45 degrees, and then fondue with a releve. Same thing to the back, fondue with to the floor, then fondue 45 degrees and fondue on releve. And one more time to the side, first to the floor, then 45 degree, and then with releve. Close to fifth and lower down.